We're looking at the Hialeah Industrial Submarket where we have 1,684 industrial properties, 65 that are actively for sale, 12 that have gone under contract in the last 90 days, 96 active leases, and 30 leases that have been signed in the last 90 days. I want to do this a little bit differently. I want to go over some of the dangers on this one, potential issues that we're seeing here in the market, and at the last one, then I'll go over some of the opportunities. Right now, we're looking at 318,000 square feet of negative absorption. These are some of the tenants that are probably right-sizing or consolidating their footprint to cover their costs or make sure that they're not exceeding their cost. And this is inventory that's going back to the market. We also see that we've got 435,000 square feet of sublet space, which that seems to be increasing, of a total of 2.2 million square feet that is available. That's almost 20% that is on the market as sublet space. And we know that those tend to undercut the actual market. And lastly, we see a 6.8 negative sales price to asking sales price to closed sales price. And again, what's happening is a lot of the sellers are thinking that they're in 2022 or 2024, and they're getting a reality check when they get into the closing table. As far as the averages, we broke this down. So we're looking, as you can see, the $15.97 asking rent is the average across the board. And when we break it down into square feet, we can see that $19 is the high side on the dollar per square foot, up to 5,000 square feet. That's probably larger if you're looking at 1,000 square feet or something in that range. And we've got a $12.41 as the low on the much higher big box stuff, anywhere from 200 to 500 or 200 plus. As far as the dollar per square foot, we're $310 a square foot, up to 5,000 square feet as the average, and a low of 177 on the 75 to 100,000 square feet, where we also see that we've got a high negative absorption. So again, moving forward, we've got the cap rates that are somewhat flat all the way across the board. There's a few areas where we can see that they are negative 0.1 or 10 basis points. Here you can see that the asking rents are somewhat flat all the way into about the middle of 2026. And we can see that the asking rent is just peaking above, which is something that we just saw where the actual rents are. As far as the months to lease, again, all that negative absorption is probably the cause of all of this. And now it's tending to lead up to where we were down to 2 months, just under 2 months to get something leased out. Now we're up to 4.5 months as an average from a high of 8 from a while ago, from the end of last year. As far as the dollar per square foot, again, $227 is the average. What we're seeing there is that 5.6 growth from last year over the last 12 months is pretty consistent with all the other submarkets. That pricing is expected to remain the same throughout this year of 2026. Now, something that CoStar does for us is it breaks it down into quality, 4 to 5 star. The newer product tends to be the newer product, not necessarily all the big box, but just the newer product, which has the 30 or plus clear height. So again, that's something that's taken into effect or taken into account when selling the property. Whereas the 3 stars at the bottom and the smaller product is the one that is just behind the other ones. Here, the market cap rate at 5.9. We are again down overall, probably 0.1% in that area. The expectation is that's going to remain flat throughout the year and probably do its downward trend if pricing begins to take up or move up again. As far as the cap rate distribution, we've got it from 4 all the way to 11s. The bulk of it seems to be 4 and 8%. So there were some good trades in there for investors as far as cap rates are concerned. And lastly, what we want to look at here is that of the 96 properties that actually transacted, only 61 were listed for sale. As we know, properties that tend to sell off market can sell for 20 to 30% below market value. So if you are thinking of selling, give us a call. Let us give you a valuation on the property. We can also show you what's the best way to actually get the most for your property if you are thinking of selling. Now, some of the opportunities in this area are the fact that we've got 7% of the availability rate and 4.9 is the actual vacancy. It's a very tight market. The hyperdenseness of Hialeah, because we have so many small bay industrial properties in that area, tends to make it very resilient. As a matter of fact, we've got an average of 69.3 as the average size of new construction in the area. Again, not a lot of big box moving into that area. And lastly, we've got 56,000 square feet that was demolished last year, 52.6. So that's taking away some of our product in that area, which is pretty much holding on to or causing the prices to remain so resilient between the sales price and the leasing in that area. Again, if you are thinking of selling, or if you'd like to find out how much your value you've got in the property, give us a call.